expertise with faculty guidance, and remember, learning is a lifelong journey facilitated by countless opportunities at your fingertips. Other areas which is need to pay attention is the physical health, emotional well-being, and values from the cornerstones of fulfilling life. Incorporate a holistic approach to life and profession rooted in a genuine understanding of human reality and existence. Knowledge and the wisdom are the key to promoting future. Remember, tomorrow belongs to those who are preparing today itself. We expect exemplary conduct from our MBA student, respect to faculty and peers, and continuous commitment to becoming well-rounded, successful. In addition to all this, let me stress the importance of value and ethics. In the dynamic world of the business, value and ethics are not only the mere concept, they are the compass that guide you through complex decisions and fosters trust. Upholding integrity, practicing social responsibility, embracing diversity and inclusion, and leading ethically are vital aspects of your journey into responsible leaders who contribute positivity to their organization and the society as a whole. Our commitment to you includes empowering you with the freedom to wisely and wisdom to discern what right for you. We will cultivate logical thinking, bolster your courage to take calculated risk, and guide you through a transformational journey. So welcome you, all of you, in Jaipuria family. I extend my best wishes to each one of you for enriching 2-year journey and a life ahead which is taking you to your success and your achieving the dream. So a journey of learning, a journey of holistic growth and the cultivation of the strong value. We wish you again all the best and welcome in Jaipuria family. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the tone for today's event. Let me now welcome Sri Shishir Jaipuria for the inaugural address. Sri Shishir Jaipuria is the chairman of Seth Anandram Jaipuria Group of Educational Institutions, which has been in the field of education for more than 77 years now. Presently, the group operates in all verticals of the education landscape and runs 16 K-12 schools, 4 preschools, and 2 management institutions. Jaipuria Group presently has a strength of over 20,000 students, 15,000 alumni, 900 educators, and has its presence in 15 cities across North. Mr. Jaipuria is also the chairman at FICCI Arise, the vertical of school of the Interest of Independent Schools. Over to you, sir. A huge round of applause, please.
Distinguished guests on the dais, members of the board of the Governing Council, Dr. Narang, parents, faculty members, and dear students. I am told that close to 287 ceremony, and the regular program will be starting in due course of time. And very soon, the number of 300, which is the session strength, will be achieved. It is very gratifying to see young students, because you are the brighter face, the face of India, the future of India. and it is nice to interact with all of you. And I would like to welcome you wholeheartedly today and wish you all success in your life. I am also grateful to the people who have come from the industry, from the corporates, to address you, to speak to you, to give you some guidance with regard to what is their expectation from the young students. When I came in today, I saw the campus being decked up very nicely. We are having the G20 summit very recently. Our Prime Minister will be heading the program, and the 20 head of the states will be joining there on the 8th, 9th, and 10th September, and the whole Delhi has been decked up. You have seen a lot of things happening in the whole city, and the same feeling I'm getting here when I'm coming to the gym function, that we are all there to welcome you with light of power, and we hope that you all do your best and of our engagement throughout the year. First of all, to begin with, I would like to the ISRO, who was able to take the Chandrayaan 3 to the moon. We are the first country in the world to have landed on the south side of the moon, while we are the fourth country in the world, besides America, Russia, and China, to be part of this mission. I think earlier India was considered as something which was more like jugaad, something which was more like chalta hai, but in over a period of times, things have rapidly changed. Each and every person all over the world realizes our technological capability is known as the Interstellar. The cost of that movie in the Bollywood was 16, and we were able to send this at a cost of 600 crores. It talks about our ingenuity, our work culture, how we can do things at a very economical price, and show to the world that India has arrived. Dear students, you are all entering at a time when India is rising. India is growing at a pace that it has never grown before. In the last 4 or 5 years, we have seen that we are the fastest growing GDP in the world. And if this growth continues, we will be the third largest country in terms of GDP by 2029. Already we are the fifth, and we will be overtaking countries like Japan as well as Germany in the next few years. The vision that has been set for the country is that we want to achieve a target of $26 by the time we turn 100 years, that is by 2047. And for that, the government has been working actively, but each of us has to contribute for the development and the growth of the nation. All the 3 pillars which I see as far as the growth engines are concerned are moving in a trajectory space, whether it is the economic conditions, the social conditions, or the political conditions. Each one of them are aligned to itself for growth. And that is the reason a lot of multinational companies from all over the world are coming to India. talking about the economic conditions, I would like to emphasize, just to give you some numbers, that till date, since independence, the overall money which has come under the FDI scheme in India has been $950 billion, out of which $562 billion has come only in the last 8 years. So this is the pace of growth in terms of confidence that the people have for our country. We have been able to demonstrate that India is a safe country. We have been able to demonstrate that the money that they bring in will be taken care of. They'll have the right entrepreneurs and they can trust India. That's why everybody and anybody who is there present globally is wanting to come to India. They're also opening their back offices in India for various facilities, whether it is for research, whether it is for IT, whether it is for supply chain management, whether it is for reverse engineering. So all these activities are happening within India, and I see that lot of job opportunities would be created because of the developments that are taking place. Also, there's also companies, whether it is India or Excel and so many other countries who are companies which are there, the numbers increasing is amazing. This is what is fascinating about our country, that people want not only looking to the domestic, also for reverse engineering and making products for the whole world. So friends, dear students, I think there's a tremendous opportunity. Besides this, I would also like to mention that the physical infrastructure in our country is growing leaps and bounds. Earlier, the infrastructure used to be dilapidated. We used to feel sorry that we are living in a country where the infrastructure is crumbling. But today, when we see the road infrastructure, we are building 40 kilometers a day. And the type of roads that are being constructed is something that we can be proud of. Likewise, it is for the railways, the seaports, the airports, and so many other things which will help us in reducing the logistics cost. And besides this, the digital stack which the country has been able to create, whether it's the Jan Dhan Yojana, whether it is the payment systems that we have been able to adopt to, whether it is Aadhaar, all three pillars have been able to integrate in a manner that it is leading to social inclusion. Whether it is services in terms of payments, health, education, and other schemes of the government relating to housing, sanitation, water, each and every person is being empowered. I mean, we are able to reach to the last person in the last village. So this is the strength we have been able to get, because the inclusion and the equity that is up in India is something that will ultimately drive consumption and bring other companies to India in a big way. I would also like to mention that the direct benefit transfer, because earlier a lot of subsidies and incentives were being given by the government, but there used to be a lot of leakages. And now, because of this arrangement, most of the payments are being done online, as a result of which the beneficiary is able to get all the benefits direct transfer, and also a large number of bank accounts. We 46 crore people who are not having bank accounts, and that was opened in a few months. So this is the financial inclusivity which has come up in a very short period of time, driving the change. People feel much more secure, people feel much more confident, and the parallel economy which was running in the country, now everything is getting streamlined and more digital payments are being made. Another data to tell you back, in the 122nd country of data consumption, and in the last 7 years we have become the biggest consumer of data in the world. Astronomical feats that we have been able to achieve. A person who not even knows how to read and write, he is able to consume data today. This is the type and this is the uh, strength of our young Indians, of the people who are living in the remotest part of the country. Friends, I would also like to say that there are a lot of mega trends that are happening. Technology is one of them. We have seen how the quality of jobs or types of jobs are continuously changing, whether it is artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, whether it is technologies relating to cloud computing, data management, product management, also like social media management. There will be huge opportunities. And I strongly feel each one of you has to understand the nuances of these technologies and try to adopt some of them wherever if it is feasible. Each one of you should build your own profile and be present in the social media, so that you know you have to build yourself and you have to project yourself. It is very easy for startups today to create a product and to market it very fast because of the various digital online systems which are there. There are large number of apps which have been created, large number of opportunities that are created within India and out India. And the startup has been built is something the young student up. That more than 1 lakh startups have come up, and more than 200 Beyond is a startup which is valued at over $1 billion, which is 7,000, which is now 8,000. It used to be 7,000 crores, but now that the rupee is weak, and now it is 8,200 crores. And every day there is a new startup coming up. So this is the strength that we have. Even today, I read that one of the companies, Zepto, has become a unicorn. And yesterday evening, I was with some of the private equity representatives, and they said that in India, and all over the world where we are investing, so I was trying to inquire for them, what do you look in a startup company? He said that what we are looking at is not the strength in terms of the technology that they have, but we want to see whether they have the problem solving attitude, whether they have the critical thinking aptitude, whether they are prepared to change with times, whether they have the potential and the imagination to be able to scale up their business if the money is given to them. And if we are able to trust their people or senior executives on these fundamentals, then we are that is happening at scale in India. So these are the type of strengths, type of skills, the attitude which you will in the college time, which will help you in going along with the management, the director, the library member will be hand-holding you. You will be getting a lot of chances and interaction to work with the corporates, to do internships, to facilities, and these opportunities or platforms which will be created and will given to you, I would request each one of you to avail of them as much as possible, because this type of learning, we have only 1.5 to 2 years of learning, and then you will go to your professional life and journey. So make the best use of this time and try to learn from each other and try to play on your strengths, because everybody has his own strengths and weaknesses. But once you know your strengths and you have a vision and direction as to where you want to reach, you have to measure your goals in a very systematic manner. Now, unless you are able to measure where you want to reach and skills, you will be left behind. That digital skills and communication skills are very important. Try to which are there tremendous amount of growth for each one of you. right aptitude, you will reach the moon as the Chandrayaan. तो you will reach with the right, आपका जो भी गोल होगा, जो आपका विजन होगा, जो आपका ड्रीम होगा, वो आप अचीव कर पाएंगे. उस एल्टीट्यूड पे आप पहुंच पाएंगे जो आपने देखा है. वो लक्ष्य को ऊंचा बनाइए और वो लक्ष्य पे आप जरूर पहुंचेंगे, ये मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है. एंड विद दीज फ्यू वर्ड्स आई वंस अगेन congratulate you and give my blessings and good wishes. And I hope you enjoy your stay at the Jaipuria. And I'll request the director and the people here to make you comfortable, to ensure that you get the best facilities. And we want you to progress in life. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivational and inspiring address. We are proud Indians. Let me now invite Mr. Shakun Khanna, Vice President and Head, SAS Alliance, Asia Pacific, Oracle India Private Limited, for the address. Mr. Shakun Khanna is a highly sought-after business strategy and HR transformation expert in Asia and serves as Vice President and Head of Cloud Application Alliances, Asia Pacific, at Oracle Corporation. He is also the co-founder of Consensus Advisory. Over the last 22 years, Mr. Shakun has been transformation advisor to many Fortune 500 and industry-leading companies. During this period, Mr. Shakun has been the head of Right Management India, head of IBM Smarter Workforce, and the leader of employee engagement and leadership development practice for Gallup Consulting. Over the last 2 decades, he has helped many organizations transform their business strategy, digital transformation, employer branding, talent management, organization design, development, employee experience, leadership development, and succession planning. An accredited executive coach, Mr. Shakun is also a master facilitator, the consciousness-based leadership with the International Center for Contemporary Consciousness, an inquisitive traveler and avid reader. A very warm welcome.
All right, good morning. How many of you are excited? You're starting your new journey, new life. How many of you are excited? Okay, good. Everybody is excited. You know, while I was sitting there, Shishirji, and you were talking about, and Narang Sahib, you were talking about, I went back to the day when I started, my management, and I was looking at it, and I was trying to reflect how things have changed. And you alluded to a lot of things, how India has changed, how our infrastructure has changed. In fact, fundamentally, the problems that we as corporates face have also significantly changed. So let me ask you, what do you think is the biggest problem of very large companies, whether it is a JK Group or a multinational like DB Shankar or Oracle, which I represent? What do you think is our single biggest problem in India today? Anybody? हमारी जैसी कंपनियों की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्या है आज की डेट में, इंडिया में स्पेसिफिकली? Anybody? Say it loudly. Huh? Competition, somebody said? No, I don't think so. Customer reach? It used to be, but then with the startups and technology, he said that it's very easy to produce and market a product very quickly. Think more, yes. Skilled employees. Who said that? Yeah, let's give them a big hand. It is very ironical. India is one of the most populous, in fact, the second largest, or now we are the largest, right? We are the most populous country in the world. We are also the largest producers of graduates in the world. Yet, companies like ours find it so difficult to find the people with, as Shishiji said, right aptitude and the right attitude. And I think that has fundamentally changed since I started my career, or I had an orientation like this. हमारे टाइम पे there were lesser number of jobs and more number of skilled people who had the right attitude and the right aptitude. तो हमको बड़ा cheated सी feeling आती थी then, in spite of the fact that we are capable, there are not many opportunities. But today that has flipped. There are far lesser number of people and a far more number of opportunities available. And why I am saying that? I am saying this because when Narang Saab started speaking, he said, lot of people on the day one of joining an institution like this are worried about placements or mera kya hoga, what will I do? The first thing I want to tell you is forget about it. Today, in the new India, you are in a very unique position, and with a prestigious institution like Jaipuria, the last thing that you should worry about is placement. Because if you have the right kind of skills, if you have the right kind of aptitude and attitude, there will be so many opportunities that you will be spoiled for opportunities. आपके लिए ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी कि मैं क्या करूं, आपके लिए ये प्रॉब्लम होगी कि मैं क्या ना करूं, and I think you are very lucky that way. So therefore, over the next 2 years that you are here, enjoy your life and focus on building the right kind of capabilities or competence. And while you are doing that, I just want to leave you with the 4 points that you should think. And these are 4 points that Shishirji already spoke about, so I will be just repeating and reiterating what you said. First thing is playing to your strengths. Our system is such, और हमारी society में India में ये बहुत होता है कि भाई okay, you are good at certain things, which is fine, but what is it that you are not good at and focus on that. Gone are those days. Today, it is very clear everybody is unique, everybody has certain unique skill sets, and everybody has some strengths. हमारी जो strengths होती हैं, often we don't feel that they are strengths. We feel, oh, this is like free, this is natural, and I get attracted towards developing something which is not in me. So the first request or a suggestion or an advice I would give you is, don't worry about what you are not good at, but focus on whatever you are good at. They say that it takes about, Prayag ki aapne baat kari, they say that if you practice anything for 10,000 hours, you will become the best in the world in that, right? So if you look at Sachin Tendulkar, what he did, he practiced for 10,000 hours. What did Parag do? Perhaps he practiced that. Now you cannot practice that much in a space or in a field which you don't like, or something that doesn't come to you naturally. So focusing on your strength is extremely critical and extremely important. जब आप अपनी strengths पे focus करते हैं और उसी skill को hone करते हैं, then you become the best in the world, then you are able to attract all sorts of opportunities, and you really don't have to worry about things, right? If you are not doing that, if you're trying to be somebody else, then there is a fundamental problem, because half of your energy, in fact 90% of your energy, is going at projecting what you are not. So as soon as possible over the next few weeks, please identify what are your core strengths and build a career, build a academic career first, and then your professional career around that. So that's number one. The other thing that, again, Shishirji talked about is networking. Extremely critical. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to be a corporate citizen, or you want to be a social enterprise person, right? Whatever it is, networking will play a very important role. So do that carefully and do that purposefully. A lot of times people don't do that. Pick up skills. Today knowledge is free. Pick up skills. You've got great mentors here. Talk to them. But whatever you want to do, networking is going to be extremely critical and important. Please focus on that. The third piece is risk taking and failing. Again, your Chandrayaan example, sir. Very quickly you fail, you learn, and then move on. Gone are those days when you had to hide your failure. In fact, one of the skills or one of the experiences that we look at when we recruit people is, have you seen enough of failures as well? Typically when you have a very good academic background, you've been always successful, school में थे तो सब कुछ अच्छा था, college में अच्छा किया, जयपुरिया में admission हो गया, so you've always seen success, right? But failure is also a great learning experience, right? So fail fast, try certain new thing, fail, learn from that, and move on. The last two things I will talk about is your thinking. These days, and we were just talking about it over the cup of tea when I mentioned that I have been in this company for 8 years, and somebody said, "Wow, this is a long time." Yes, but no, right? Whenever you start, think about what is the long-term perspective. Often, and one of the problems that we have is that youngsters are very impatient today. People change jobs on a little bit of money, one promotion here, one promotion there. In the long run, that doesn't help. In the short run, it might help you to buy that car quickly or buy that house quickly. But if you look at your long-standing career, I started working the year when people like Sundar Pichai or people like Satya Nadella started. We were in the same year. But what is the difference? The difference was that they started first of all, they were very clear what they wanted to do. They did that and continue to do that with a single company. So I'm not saying that you be in the same company for a long time, but make sure that you know what is your area of strength, what is the field that you have chosen, and then build on that. As early as in your life and career you can find that out, it'll be absolutely wonderful. And the last piece I would say, which perhaps is most important, is to enjoy your life and learning experience enough and more. Right? Don't worry about getting stressed. In our times, we were constantly told, "अरे तुम कॉलेज में हो, तुम तो MBA कर लो, तो तुम्हें हक नहीं है कि तुम कुछ enjoyment करो, तुम कुछ करो." I think that is equally important. That what give you a holistic life. Focus on your social well-being, your financial well-being, your physical well-being, your spiritual well-being, and I think you have a very, very bright future. I wish you all the best, and I think there's a very, very bright life ahead for you. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for leaving all of us with the 4 points: focusing on our strength, networking well, increasing our risk-taking appetite, and thinking on a long-term perspective. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Niranjan Mishra, Business Head, JK Cement Limited, for his address. He possesses a cross-industry experience of over 33 years at various operational levels, including managing profit center operations, projects, CRM marketing, business setup, and commercial affairs with profit accountability, BPR, sales in lubricant, downstream petroleum, downstream, telecom, as well as agricultural input industry. He also brings with him exposure of setting up high capex businesses. He has an exceptional track record of building high-value sales and increasing market share through channel expansion and increasing business size with key clients. He has the exposure of developing and implementing strategic initiative, both long-term as well as short-term. He is a skilled team leader, recruitment, business startup, and ramping up business, and holds a proficiency in developing and streamlining systems with proven ability to enhance operational, administrative effectiveness, and meet operational goals within the cost, time, and quality parameters. In short, he possesses very strong and focused process orientation. We are delighted to have him. Huge round of applause, please.
A very good morning, dear friends. Would always thank you, esteemed members of the faculty, my fellow panelists, and dear friends. It's indeed a proud day for me to stand here before you and speak to you about my experiences of the last 3.5 decades, how things have changed over the corporate world. This probably, you'll be getting to see more of what you see on the screen now, right? It would be a way of life, a PowerPoint deck, every month, every quarter, right? So let me start off with the first deck of your immensely nourishing corporate journey. So, gentlemen and friends, the theme today, campus to corporate. Most of us always feel, the campus to corporate, well, the moment I pass out, the moment I graduate from there, I go to an office and, hey, there will be a glass, cabin where I would sit and stuff like that. Dear friends, it's always, the start is always a difficult one. And resilience is something which is very important for all of us to move on. It is the resilience which will actually set the tone of the kind of success that we enjoy over the next years. Because now, you see, you would have at least about 39 to 40 years of active corporate life before you decide to take on the mantle in the second innings. So just to quickly talk about it, these are the 5 principles that I would like to base my stuff on. One will be the sense of purpose. This is extremely important. Then we'll talk about the self-management. All of you being management students, I think this is important for all of us. Emotional intelligence and relationship management, which my fellow panelists also spoke about. Learning, direction, and of course the journey. My dear friends, the most important part of any corporate journey would be you discover your sense of purpose. Unless and until you have a sense of purpose for yourself, things really would be very, very dicey all the time. I remember when I joined the corporate life way back in the year 1986, quite ancient, right? Last century. But yes, when I joined the corporate life, I had spent about 7 or 8 days, and I was talking to my boss's boss. He was one Mr. Guru Swami of blessed memory now. And he asked me, he says, and he was an area sales manager, and he asked me, what is your aim in life? What would you like to become? The 21-and-a-half-year-old guy in me promptly replied, I would like to become an area sales manager. He said, that should take about 7 years. After that, what? Now, I had no answer to that. The answer to his experience, I couldn't even fathom where he was actually headed. He said, my dear friend, is acquiring a designation important for you? Or leaving a legacy behind for people to remember what you did important? So, dear friends, that's the day I realized that it is the sense of purpose. What kind of legacy would you like to leave behind? How would you like to be remembered once you move from that job, from that position, from that group? So it's not the kind of designation that you have on a business card. It is not the kind of chair that you are occupying. It's the kind of, the kind of legacy that you leave behind for everyone to understand, to remember you that, hey, he was the guy who actually worked really hard, and we are actually, thankful to him for his contribution. Getting this in your context today, you get the sense of purpose of why correct today. Why did you join? Why did you decide to take on this corporate journey through Jaipuria? This is the first step. In fact, for me, this is the initiation into the corporate world. Why did you do it? Was it to start a new business? Was it to learn something new about business? Or was it to herald a change, to be a beacon, a torch holder, a lamp holder for change moving ahead? Get that clear. And once you get that clear, embrace this purpose and move on. Like Shakun also said, let's decide what to do. And then it should be unwavering faith in your own capabilities, your capability to learn by your failures, because I also believe the failures are, the best teachers, because we always focus on the result. You should focus on the result. A result, if it is bad, if it is to the contrary, has tremendous amount of teaching, provided you are able to actually analyze. There is no need for you to feel bad. In my, current role that I'm doing right now, I prefer people who have failed and learned the lesson. So don't get me wrong, it is not everybody who has failed. It is how they have learned the lesson after a failure is what is more important to me than a person who has been a rank first class first who has never failed. It's important. Second is what? What do you intend doing? Now that you are in the business school, what do you want to take, right? You have the tremendous amount of experience of your faculty here, you have the tremendous amount of experience and the kind of energy, the creative energy that all of your fellow students would have, right? So it's important for you to decide what you want to take here. It's going to be a collaborative approach. And third is, how. How would you like to take it forward? You decided your purpose, you decided what you're going to take, so how are you going to take it forward? I think this is something that you need to decide and move on, because these are the three basic questions which probably would continue to haunt you, or which you would be required to answer all your life, every single day of your life. आज की तारीख में क्या होता है? When we talk to people, ये काम कर दिया, बोले टाइम नहीं मिला. Is it correct or not? Yes. टाइम तो उतना ही रहेगा. क्यों नहीं टाइम मिला? Oh, I'm so sorry, I just forgot. It slipped my mind. Dear friends, I think it's a very old habit, but it's good to carry a notebook. The advent of smartphones have actually, kind of, killed this habit a bit, because smartphones में we kind of, we note it down. कभी हम notes में note कर देते हैं, कभी हम अपने आप को WhatsApp कर देते हैं, कभी अपने आप को text message कर देते हैं, कभी हम लिखते हैं and we forget to save it, and somewhere or the other that the job, that reminder that we had set for ourselves falls into the crack. One more thing that I would request you all to bear in mind is take a vow never to wait for a reminder. It's better to be in time, because the moment a reminder comes in and then we respond, the biggest thing that gets impacted is our credibility. And more than anything else, it's not your degrees, it is not your percentage of marks. Eventually, as you move ahead, it is your credibility which will hold the maximum value for you as a professional. I think this is one thing very important. Ambition. How many of you play cricket or have played cricket? Good. How many of you actually follow cricket? Wow, excellent. So that solves quite a bit of my, inquisitiveness. Do you remember when Pakistan won the World Cup under the captaincy of Imran Khan? How many of you remember that? Very good, 92. How many of you remember the speech that the captain delivered? Does anyone remember the speech that Imran Khan delivered? I would try to, recall that speech. He said, commiserations to the English team. They defeated England. Commiserations to the English team for having played so well. In the twilight of my career, I wanted to hold this glittering World Cup trophy, which I have held, and I'm really delighted. And now I would like to make a cancer hospital in the memory of my mother. This is all what he spoke. Do you think it is the right speech befitting a captain who has just won a World Cup? Yes, no? Did he talk about the team? Did he talk about his own team? He spoke about the opponents, he didn't speak about his own team. My dear friends, the ambition is important, like what Shakun said. Decide what you want to do. And Mr. Jaipuria also said that, sapne dekhiye. But ambition should be for the overall good. It should be for the larger perspective. Nobody can deliver, nobody can achieve anything all by himself. I think this is something which all of you need to bear in mind and make sure that, it is a team which delivers. Individuals cannot deliver. Emotional intelligence relationships are something which is very important for each and every one of us. Everybody is working in a team, everybody is working with a group towards a common goal. Everybody needs to be aligned to a common goal. I think it's important for us to develop relationships, to nurture them, and to draw the maximum benefit that we can out of those relationships. And we need to be mindful of what the other person is feeling about. These may sound very small, these may sound very easy, but my dear friends, difficult. The sooner we start, the better it is. Because at your age, if you start now, you will be, by the time you graduate from this wonderful institute, you will be really good at it. It will be very difficult for you to start off after you graduate from here, because that's where the fear of failure would actually be much and much, it will be over and above your mind. Life is a continuous learning. Every day is a continuous learning. Your failures are a continuous learning. Your success may not, but failures would. You have an advantage of a learned faculty here. Let's interact with them even after the school hours, even after the classes get over. Sit with them, try to draw from their experience. They definitely are much more experienced. In fact, even now, I kind of, go for my alumni meets. Why do I go there? I go there simply because my professors who are still there, some of them are still there, it's wonderful interacting with them. And two of them I actually share my concerns, share my worries, and and seek their guidance on what they can. Though they would have stopped teaching me long back, but I think this is most important. So life is a continuous learning. Learn from everyone, and that is what is going to hold us in good stead. Embrace the journey of growth. There is a very good saying which I read somewhere, What is the best way to predict future? What is the best way to predict future? People say future ka pata nahi, kal ka pata nahi kya hoga. But there is also one way where the future can be predicted. The best way to predict future, my friends, is to write it, to create it yourself. And when you can create future yourself with the right level of focus, with the right sense of purpose, with very clear deliverables on what you want and what you don't want, I think that is going to help you rewrite or write your future and be able to predict it. So I wish you all the very best, my dear friends, in this wonderful journey. I would love to be a part of your journey in the days to come as well, so that we can create a wonderful future together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking us all from the campus to corporate journey, for telling us the importance of setting our ambition for a larger perspective, for a larger good. We are delighted to have with us Ms. Renu Bohra, Chief People Officer, DB Shankar, Asia's 100 Power Leaders in HR 2020, Certified Independent Director, Coach. She comes with a strong HR domain knowledge and proven track record of strategic business partnering, culture building, and organizational transformation. She has worked in multinational, Indian private and public sector organizations across service, engineering, manufacturing industry. In the last 28 years, she has taken up various roles in HR, be it a journalist HR, as business unit HR head, or as specialist HR, with a brief stint in corporate communications also. Her contribution to the organizational success has been in the area which are of deep to her, which are HR strategy, leadership development, talent management, talent acquisition, OD, change management, employee experience, communication, corporate social responsibility, social compliance, and labor compliances. She is described as a highly self-motivated, having a very balanced approach, people's person, go-getter. She is a business enabler, quite objective, a good negotiator, and a culture catalyst. Over to you, ma'am. Huge round of applause, please.
Thank you, Sanandi. A very good afternoon. I think by this, in the morning or the afternoon, I don't even have the, yeah, so still we are in the morning. Good morning to you all. And respected dignitaries on the dais, faculty member, parents, and dear students. It's a pleasure to be here. So before I start speaking, I want to ask this question to you. How are you feeling today? Can I have a few words? How are you feeling right now? Excited? Can I have a few more feelings here? Can you be a bit louder? Enthusiastic? Okay, good. Yeah, so I think when you come to such a place and in such a forum and on such a day, I think it's very easy to also, remember what you were thinking when you joined a university or an institution. And then you reflect upon your journey. So I was reflecting upon my journey and listening. I think I had a pleasure to listen to you, Mr. Shishir. It was very genuine and sincere. I felt it very motivating and inspiring. Same goes for Mr. Shakun, who was very clear with 4-point agenda. Then we moved to 5 points from Mr. Niranjan. So I think most of the things have already been said, and we are talking more around expectation. I'll share something which is coming to my mind. It may be relevant to you, and if it is not, then you can just, consider it as one of the various experiences. I'll start with a story of a small girl who goes to a mela with her grandmom. So she's going to a mela and she sees a balloon seller. The balloon seller has got many balloons, of various colors. They are all helium-filled balloons. Red color, pink color, yellow, orange, violet, and so on. And then she sees a very beautiful pearly white balloon. And then she sees a black balloon. And she asks her mom, her grandmom, will this black balloon also fly to the same height as the white? And the grandmother says, it is not the color of the balloon, but what is inside that takes it to the height. So I would request you that you all are different, unique, and you have your own experiences. You have come from maybe small town, big town, different kind of families, business family, service family, farmers, and so on. You have your own experiences. Just believe in yourself, and that is what is confidence. When I joined University of Roorkee, now it's called IIT Roorkee, for a few days I thought that I am the weakest, I can't speak in English properly. I was from Kendriya Vidyalaya. I can't, I'm not from a well-to-do family, very well-to-do, so I don't wear those fancy clothes and so on. And I think within few days, I realized that that is not my purpose, They have their own purpose. They have their own experiences. If there are good things in others, I will emulate, I will learn. Like, communication, how to, address, how to be a good team player. But I will have my own way, and I have my own thinking, and I will, build on that. The next thing I want to speak on is focus on here and now. I think you would have, I believe you have read the story of Leo Tolstoy, 3 questions, wherein the question is, who is the most important person? And the answer is that the person in front of you is the most important person. Whether it's a teacher, it's a parent, it's your friend, or it's a customer. They are the most important. The next question was, what is the most important moment? And the answer is, the present moment is the most important moment. And the third question, what is the most important work? The answer is, the work that is in front of you or you are doing at this moment is the most important work. So if you are here in this session, be attentive. Phones can always be gone through later on also. I think being in the moment is the most important learning that I have had in my life, because I have also done the mistake of, while being in the classroom or by being in certain role, I was always thinking maybe about the other role, and I could not give my full. And wherever I was fully in the role or in the job, I had flourished, and people had given good, words about me, and it helped me to go to the next role. The next one I would say is cultivate good habits. Now, it may sound a very cliched, very moralistic, but it's very important. And, we have to always, life is so easy, at times when we are very small, younger, we brush our teeth twice a day, morning and night, and later on we stop doing it if the parent is not asking. But it's so important to have good habits, because later on you realize that if you have good teeth, good health, then it's because of your good habits. So please have a good habit of reading, watch good movies, read good literature, play sports. I think sports teaches you a lot of team spirit. A lot of time that we have got two choices. One is that pull down our opponent or our competition. So in your office or in your classroom, you have other students who are maybe they are brighter than you at times. One thing is to pull them down. The other is that maybe you push them and maybe they'll also pull you up. So it's important to have that team spirit, and that is what has helped me in my life. Whenever I have envied, envy is such a normal thing. I envy people when they are smarter than me. But whenever I have used it to learn something new or better, I think it has helped me. I think we heard about choices. We have got multiple choices. So the question is that, what are the priorities? When you have got choices, how do you prioritize? And I think it's important for you all to start thinking that what do I prioritize? We keep on hearing that we don't have time, but we do a lot of experiments in the classroom in some training session, and we say that if I give you 1 crore, will you be able to find 5 hours from your week without, impacting your personal life or family life? And they say no, but when they see the reward, many of them say yes. And they are able to, prove that they are able to find 5 hours out of the busy schedule. Life will not give you that 1 crore, but it will give you far more than that 1 crore. So it's important to find out time. Don't be always so busy that we don't have time for our health, our spending time with our parents, grandparents, reading books, sport, and so on. I would also like to speak about one topic about rumor and gossiping. It is so easy and so entertaining to be a part of gossips and rumors. And it happens everywhere. And I'll talk about the story which is there about Socrates. One guy came to Socrates and said that, have you heard what I have heard about Diogenes? He was talking about you. He said, have you heard that? So Socrates says, wait. Before you tell me, there is a 3-filter test. First question is that, what you're going to say me, is it true? So the guy said that, I have heard about it. I'm not sure, but I have heard about it and I want to tell you. He said, okay, the first filter test could be maybe passed. Second is that, is it a good thing that you are going to tell me? He said, no, rather it's a very bad thing about Diogenes. I have heard about him talking about you. So he said, okay, now you're going to tell me about Diogenes, a bad thing, which you are not even sure it's a true or not. So the guy was a bit puzzled and feeling bad. And then he said, even that first 2 tests about being true and good maybe can pass, but the third test is that, is it beneficial to me? Whatever you're going to tell, is it helping me? So he said, no, it is not. I'm sure that the thing that I'm going to tell you will not help you. So he said, don't do that. So similarly, don't participate in gossiping. There are so many channels here, be it Twitter, be it social media. Use it for the right thing, for betterment of yourself, your team, your college, your institution, your organization. And the last thing is that I will talk about regularly check your location. And I'm not saying oh, Google Map and find out the location. I'm saying just check your location. Are you below the line or above the line? When you are below the line, you have anxiety, you are stressful, you are fearful, you are closed, you see everything as threat. When you are above the line, you are playful, you are curious, you are open to fail, but you want to try it out. Every one of us are on those, below the line and above the line. Just check this out. Now today you have come, maybe it's your first day or maybe first week for this new course. Are you feeling anxious that, now I'll have to study more? Oh, I don't know how to speak in English in public. Oh, I don't know how to make presentation. Oh, I have my financial issues. I've taken loan. How will I repay? What will happen after 2 years if I don't get a good campus placement? I'm not smarter. I don't know mathematics. I am very weak in economics and so on. So these are your fears. It's very natural to have these fears, But then tell yourself that if I'm fearful and if I'm anxious, it will only make me defensive. It will close my doors. I'll be either trying to, hide or not try mathematics or not try financial thing because they are like very difficult for me. Rather, go up and say, okay, I'll be open. I'll learn. I'm curious to learn. They are difficult. And when they're difficult, I feel a bit, I'll spending more time. I may spend more 2 hours, in understanding the problem. But let me do that. Let me be open and playful. And people who play above the line, they are more open, they are curious, and they learn, and they fail fast, and they learn fast. And they are more successful. So with this, I'm saying that life is a journey. Don't consider MBA as a destination. It's also a journey of learning. Be in the moment. Take this time, this opportunity for enhancing your domain knowledge. Use your faculty. Use your team members as resources. Use yourself as resource. And wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It has been a great, great experience hearing from you. Thank you for taking us to the story of the little girl and for telling us the importance of being in the present and for the 3 filter test. Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now request Mr. Vinod Malhotra, advisor and member of board, SET Anandram Jaipuria Group of Educational Institutions for the vote of thanks. Mr. Vinod Malhotra, a management graduate from Leeds University, UK, and LLB from Faculty of Law, New Delhi, has various in administrative services in the past. Had directly involved aspect of industry development. Has been from reader 20 books on and soft skills. Over to you, sir. Please.
So, please remember, Chairman. Namaste. I actually realized when Renu was a bit of confusion, good afternoon or good morning, so it's time. So, namaste to all. There you are. Let me just quickly get over my responsibility of expressing a vote of thanks. First to the gentlemen, all 4 of you, and a special thanks for the lady. suggestion, Narang. Yes. If you have functional this kind, please make sure there's a lady corporate. Sure, sir. If not, I mean, not. So, it adds to what is very important is it not only gives you a different perspective, like that you one heard from her. A lot of things were said by gentlemen, not to underestimate the contribution of all the rest of them. There is a different perspective that she brought on the table. And of course, her presence also adds to the glamorous quotient to the entire proceedings. So that's another aspect which is very important. You see, I also must give my felicitation to the director and the team. That's my personal preference. That you started the entire orientation program, which began yesterday. You started with Yagya and Havan and spiritual practices and this, that, and other. And I think that's very important for us to create that right kind of ecosystem. These things really create a very positive vibrations in any kind of situation. And so I very strongly would also opt for making a suggestion to all of you to raise all your quotients, your knowledge quotient, your emotional quotient, everyone talked about it, but also try and raise your spiritual quotient. By spiritual quotient, I do not mean only you sort of remember and worship God. Spiritual quotient is what we talk about values and ethics in this system. This is where, and I say, we're talking about India becoming the spiritual guru, Vishwa Guru. And Vishwa Guru, you see, there's a competition in all other areas, in technology, in science, and humanities, and this, that, and other. But I can tell you there's very little competition when it comes to spiritual knowledge as far as India is concerned. That's where you really would establish yourself as a spiritual guru. And also the fact that the current revolution that we're seeing today, starting from, if you go back to the earlier areas, the hunters and gatherers and agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, today is a knowledge-based revolution. And knowledge is something that we have demonstrated in our country to a very large measure. And still, and I can tell you that we haven't even touched the tip of the kind of knowledge quotient that is available in our system. We are so smitten by the colonial era that, the kind of the total wisdom and knowledge, that chest of knowledge. In fact, today I was reading our Prime Minister, he visited ISRO. She should talk about ISRO's and the landing in the moon. This is what he said. He says there's a huge amount of chest of knowledge that's available in our country. We really have to retrieve that, extract it. Talking about ISRO, a couple of things very interesting, scientific, and also a bit of a comedy attached with it. You have to understand that of course, we're all as Indians extremely proud of the fact that we landed in one of the most difficult air regions of moon. Like I always say, the angels fear to tread. The South Pole is most treacherous, most difficult. Nobody can know us. The moon session began way back in 1959, when Russia was the first country which sent a satellite there. Now just imagine, just make a comparison. Just when Chandrayaan was landing in the moon, just about that time, Russian satellite crashed. Now, how do you explain that? Russia, which is far ahead, which is about 64 years ago, far ahead of technology in terms of knowledge. Even after 64 years, they could not successfully land in several attempts, and India sort of succeeded in going to the most difficult terrain. The reason why I'm talking about that is that whatever goals that you set for yourself, there always would be one component, apart from your efforts and your endeavors and your instruments and your desires and your capabilities, there always would be one element, which is the entire ecosystem, providential ecosystem, which is very important. And today, I can think about one possible reason why Russia crashed and India succeeded. Is because of a collective consciousness of a country. The nation also has a collective consciousness. Russia's collective consciousness today is down in the dumps. because the kind of things these people are doing. And I think India's collective consciousness is rising. I think that's very, very important for all youngsters to note. That we are heading in that positive direction, and I think if we keep ourselves in that phase continuously, then our future, like projected by several speakers, Shishir and everyone, is going to be extremely bright. But it has to be sustainable, and you guys are the torch bearers of creating that sustainability. That's very important. समस्या ये है कि इतने सालों से फिल्म इंडस्ट्री वाले, बॉलीवुड वाले, पोइट्स वगैरह सब चंद्रमा की बहुत उपमा देते थे ना, तारीफ करते थे. जैसे वो एक पुरानी पिक्चर का चांद सा रोशन चेहरा किसी वो हीरो हीरोइन से बोलता था ना. अब आज वो चांद सा रोशन चेहरा कोई बताने की कोशिश करे अपनी लवर को, वो थप्पड़ मारेगी उसको. फॉर ए सिंपल रीजन वी नाउ नो कि चांद का चेहरा रोशन नहीं है. पहली बात है कि वी ऑल नो द साइंटिफिक फैक्ट द मून डज नॉट हैव अ लाइट ऑफ इट्स ओन. इट गेट्स रिफ्लेक्टेड लाइट फ्रॉम द सन. दैट इज वन. दूसरा, उस कमबख्त के चेहरे पे इतने धब्बे हैं, इतने दाग हैं. तो आज यू so the problem is that poets and heroes are in better problems. You cannot possibly. So the funny side of the entire landing process. You see, it's extremely important, and all the speakers mentioned, that you must have a very clear goal in your life. You must set a that's very important. So if you have a clarity in your goal, then you understand the journey, you understand the process that you need to take. And there's a complete clarity in your mind. And like one person's mentioned, that make sure that you have the right kind of an attitude, the right kind of aptitude, and something which is very consistent with your innate nature. जो आपकी इसी हमेशा लगता है कि जो कहते हैं ना, ग्रास ऑन द अदर साइड इज ऑलवेज ग्रीनर, कि वो जो बंदा वो कर रहा है वो ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा. Don't think about that. Think about your own strengths. Do your own SWOT analysis. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Time and again, Krishna tells Arjuna, Swadharmo viguno paradharmo sunishchita. He says your own nature, innate nature, is far more important than even a highly exalted or a glorious nature or glorious profession other people follow. So follow your nature and follow your passion. I think this is extremely important. Another thing which I like to make a distinction between dream big, but desires. Bring down. There's a difference between dreaming, achieving, and desires. वो एक को शायद ने किसी ने कहा है ना, हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले मेरे अरमान फिर भी कम निकले. तो ख्वाहिशों का तो कभी अंत होगा नहीं, लेकिन अपने सपनों को मत कहीं बिखरने दो. Make sure that you follow your dreams, follow your passion. And if you're able to, at this point of time, create a sense of level playing field, create a sense of equanimity, samatva bhav lek agar aap chalte hain, you're not disturbed by the changes that are happening in the atmosphere. You know, people, all kind of people, this, that, and other, they'll say negative things about you. But if you're not disturbed, if you understand this is what you're going to do, then I think you should become an extremely successful person. ये एक जो इंटरेस्टिंग यहाँ पे आप रिपीट करिए, being to failure, फेल होना बुरा नहीं, अच्छा है सब, you know. So my only worry is that don't fail deliberately. Make sure that you मतलब हारे वो पता लगा मैं साहब टीचर पर फेल हो जाऊंगा, मिश्रा जी के पास जाएंगे, आपने तो कहा था मेरे को नौकरी चाहिए. So resist that temptation. If you must fail in trying new things, out of the box thinking, trying out new experiments. These next 2 years will allow you an opportunity to experiment. Basic idea was, this is an opportunity for you to fail and then succeed. But that opportunity may not be available to you once you go out. आपने आपको नौकरी दे भी दी, अगर वहाँ फेल करेंगे तो मिश्रा जी will make sure that he thinks twice before you getting you in. So, but this is one particular opportunity that you have, big time, to make sure that you're able to, to sort of set your path. One particular factor which I must necessarily like to convey to you, which was mentioned, apart from creativity, critical thinking, also collaboration, team spirit. Let me give a very brief story, very interesting story. It's in a class like about 100 people, like you sort of sit together. The teacher, what he did, he gave something like about 60 odd balloons to the students. And what he told them that each one of you fill up the air, tie it down, and write your name on the balloon, right? So they went to a hall. Everyone wrote down the name, and they went to a hall, and all these balloons were thrown into on a very ad hoc. Now, once the balloons settled down in the hall, the teacher asked every student to go and pick up the balloon where his or her name is written. Now, can you imagine what happened? There's a complete chaos. And he says, the first 5 who bring their balloons to me will be rewarded. The complete confusion, chaos, worse confounded, everyone running helter-skelter. And it took hours before they could discover the balloon where their own name was written. Second time, he did exactly the same thing. This time he told them, do exactly what I told you earlier on, but this time, pick up whatever balloon comes in your hand and give it to the person whose name is written on it. And they were able to finish the entire work in 5 minutes' time. That's the spirit of collaboration. If we start following our own paths, our own journey, independent of, without concern of the person sitting next door or part of my team, then you won't meet your objective, and at the same time you'll have major problems. So this is the kind of a collaborative spirit that we need to, and I think we as a nation, one of the largest in the world today, can definitely do with picking up together, having the kind of a peer group influence upon each other, learning from each other, and like always says, no one person is a repository of all the wisdom, no matter how high that person may be. If you pull in your knowledge, pull in your resources, the success would be definitely entirely yours. You see, the word outside is, like you mentioned, first, you can't afford to fail outside. दूसरी बात है कि word is pretty hostile. Let's be very clear about it. Word is unforgiving. Human beings might be forgiving, some may not be, but in totality, the entire ecosystem does not allow failure to happen. It recognizes success. But it's very important for us to be able to make sure that not only we sort of sit together, we also must make sure that this hostility that is covering all of us, we also have some kind of a way out for us to de-stress ourselves. There's a very beautiful word, French word expression is called, I'm quite fond of that word. It's a joie de vivre. Joie de vivre. This, of course, French pronunciation. Joie-de-vivre. Joie de vivre. It's a joy of life. No matter what happens, everything is incidental. Earning money, getting married, producing children, getting jobs, this, that, and other are important. There's all going to be, there's not something which everybody's done. But you must create a separate kind of a system, a conduit for yourself to stay rooted and stay happy. Joy of life cannot be sacrificed. At the end of it all, you see, like talking about Aristotle and Socrates and all this, the fundamental aim of human entity is to stay happy. And how do you stay happy? By consciously getting into those habits Renu talked about. Consciously cultivating certain habits, and apart from your studying and this, that, and other, is to find a way where you can de-stress yourself. The corporate world is unforgiving, very competitive, fiercely competitive. So you need some way out. And even the technology is very stressful. Excess of technology is very stressful. म्यूज़िक है, डांस है, पेंटिंग है, स्पोर्ट्स है, कोई ना कोई ऐसी बुरी आदत आप पाल लीजिए which will actually help you in times of tension, stresses, which are inevitable part of any kind of an organization. आप लोग भी फेस करेंगे, हम लोग भी फेस करेंगे, लेकिन एक तरीका, एक बैकअप आपके पास ज़रूर रहना चाहिए. Lastly, you heard everyone. Everyone gave you wonderful ideas. But एक चीज़ जो आपको कल्टिवेट ज़रूर करनी पड़ेगी. For next 2 years, आप will have a lot of lectures, lot of workshops, lot of sessions, teachers in and out, mentoring, this, that. बहुत सारे आपको अल्फाज, बहुत सारे शब्द, बहुत सारे words, अंग्रेज़ी, हिंदी, सब जगह आपको सुनने पड़ेंगे. Cultivate a strong art of listening. You know, I can tell you this crowd, 200 लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं ना, जो भी हैं 300 हैं, तो उसमें I can say with absolute confidence. You see, there's a very beautiful two pair of words in English. One is listening, one is hearing. You must develop an art of listening. When you listen, it's like a child. Child listens. When you listen, you are able to imbibe and absorb and assimilate and internalize what it. But when you're only hearing a sound, like any other sound. It doesn't make an impact at all. It doesn't add to your knowledge. It doesn't add value. You probably might be surprised to know that some of the universities in America, including Harvard University, are having a specific course and credits on art of listening. I think when you're saying that be in time, be right there, that's what we really mean. If you are there in time, that you're actually attentively listening and absorbing whatever is being said. And in the course of next 2 years, a lot of speakers will come and share wonderful thoughts with you. So stay rooted, stay grounded, listen to the words consciously. Accept what you think is right, reject if you think it doesn't make sense. That's okay, that's the kind of a choice that you people have. But so much of knowledge coming from all quarters. And finally, stay as a lifelong learner. It is not, this is a very structured opportunity for you to learn, but don't give up learning. I can just quote my own example. I had fortunate to be associated with the education group after my retirement, which is about 15 years ago now. 15 साल पहले retire हुआ था मैं. I can tell you with the confidence and amount of learning that had happened in the last 15 years far exceeds the learning that I did in the previous 60 years. So you probably know my age now. So this is what is a part of learning. Don't give up learning. Learning, skills, problem solving, these are going to be the mantras. And use technology wherever it is required, it is being said time and again. But these are some of the very important mantras of staying rooted, staying physically fit. You see, the learning also creates a very nice kind of a system. Your cerebral activity, your cerebral cortex that you have, you know, the hypothalamus and whatever biological name that you can talk about, they stay fully alive. And if they stay alive, your body, your physical sense also becomes alive. So don't give up learning. Pick up an opportunity. जहाँ भी कुछ ज्ञान प्राप्त करने की संभावना है, और आज ज्ञान प्राप्त करने की संभावनाएं अपार हैं, all over, right in your hands. You got knowledge. So don't give up that. Wonderful to have all of you here. Next 2 years, maybe we have more opportunities to interact with each other. But I think you are an excellent ecosystem with wonderful teachers, directors, and everyone. And enjoy, learn every moment that you spend in this organization. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir. It is always a pleasure hearing from you and introspect on the words of wisdom shared by you. Thank you, sir. So before we move to the Academic Excellence Awards, we would like to felicitate Mr. Shakun Khanna, as sir has a work commitment and he has a flight to catch. I would request the chairman and the director to kindly felicitate Mr. Khanna. Students. So thank you so much for joining us for the day. Huge round of applause, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We would move to the felicitation itself. I would request the students to please bring the, yeah. So I would request the chairman and the director to felicitate Mr. Niranjan Mishra. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us for the day. Ms. Renu Bora.
Before I take my this thing, I'll just add one thing. Okay. Yeah, so I really applaud Mr. Malhotra's comment that we should have more women here, and they will come. But I would request the institution also, and not only Jaipuria, but almost all of them through this dais, that please have more diversity here. It's not, felicitating and giving gift should not be only the women's work. And there are male students also here, so please give them this work as well. Diversity should be here and should be here.
Surely, ma'am, we would take care of the same the next time. Thank you. Thank you so much with us for the day. Okay. The pursuit of excellence is a noble endeavor, and at our Academic Excellence Award ceremony, we gather to honor those who have embraced this pursuit